The psychology of money, a quiet conversation that can change your life. Let me tell you something most people never hear out loud. The biggest difference between people who struggle financially and people who build real wealth has almost nothing to do with intelligence, talent, or luck. It's not about working harder. It's not even about education. It's about the relationship you have with money inside your mind. And I want to say this gently, as if I were sitting across from you with a warm cup of coffee, not teaching you, but confessing something deeply personal. Because everything I'm about to share, I had to learn the hard way. For years, my life looked successful on the outside. I was capable, driven, intelligent. But internally, I was operating from fear, old beliefs, and invisible rules about money that I never consciously chose. And those rules were quietly controlling my decisions, my stress levels, my confidence, and even my relationships. If you stay with me until the end of this conversation, you might recognize parts of yourself here. And more importantly, you'll understand how to gently rewrite the patterns that are holding you back. Let's start with something called your money story. Every one of us has one. A money story is the collection of beliefs you absorbed growing up about what money means, who deserves it, and what happens when you have it. Most of these beliefs were formed before you were old enough to question them. You didn't choose them. You inherited them. Some people grew up hearing that money is dangerous, that wanting more makes you selfish, that rich people are greedy or immoral. If that was your environment, you may unconsciously push money away, even when opportunities appear. Others learned that money equals safety, love, or worth. These people often chase financial success relentlessly, hoping that one more milestone will finally make them feel secure. But the finish line keeps moving. Some tie their entire self-worth to how much they earn or what they can show the world. They feel anxious when others are doing better, overspend to maintain appearances, and secretly fear being found out. And then there are those who are extremely careful with money. They save, plan, and prepare, yet rarely feel at ease. Even abundance doesn't bring peace, only more worry. Here's the truth most people never realize. None of these patterns are about money itself. They are about safety, identity, and belonging. For a long time, I believed I was just being responsible. But what I was actually doing was letting an old survival pattern run my adult life. And once you see that, something powerful happens. Because awareness creates choice. The next invisible barrier is what psychologists call a financial ceiling. This is the internal limit you unconsciously place on how much you believe you're allowed to earn. You may say you want more. But if your identity is still anchored to struggle, stability, or just getting by, your nervous system will resist expansion. You might sabotage opportunities. You might hesitate at the exact moment growth requires courage. You might feel anxious when things start going well. Not because you're broken, but because your self-image hasn't caught up yet. Your mind works like a thermostat. If your internal setting says, "This is my level," everything above that feels unsafe. And your behavior will quietly bring you back down. The shift begins with language. Instead of asking, "Why is this so hard for me?" try asking, "Who am I becoming?" A simple sentence can change everything. I am the kind of person who learns to create and manage wealth with calm and clarity. You don't need to fully believe it yet. You just need to stop rejecting it. Another pattern that keeps people stuck is confusing consumption with growth. We are taught to buy things to feel better, safer, more confident. But very few people are taught to invest in things that return value over time. Here's a grounding question I want you to carry with you. Does this choice give energy back to my future self, or does it quietly drain it? Skills that expand your ability to earn, create, or contribute are investments. Habits that protect your time and focus are investments. Relationships that challenge and support your growth are investments. Anything that repeatedly takes without giving back deserves a pause. And this brings us to one of the most misunderstood forces in human psychology, scarcity. Scarcity isn't about how much you have. It's about how your brain perceives the world. When the mind believes resources are limited, it narrows. It becomes reactive, short-term, fear-driven. This is ancient wiring meant to protect us. But in a modern world of renewable opportunities, it can quietly sabotage intelligent decision-making. Scarcity says, what if this is my last chance? Abundance asks, what can I create next? And here's something important. An abundance mindset is not blind optimism. It's trusting your capacity to respond, adapt, and grow. One of the most healing shifts I made was learning to ask better questions. Instead of, can I afford this? I began asking, how could this expand me? That question alone moves you from fear into creativity. Another powerful pattern that holds people back is loss aversion. Psychologically, we feel losses more intensely than gains. This is why people stay in jobs that drain them, relationships that shrink them, and financial situations that no longer align. The mind says, at least I know this pain. But familiar pain still costs you. One of the most liberating reframes I ever learned was this. Loss is not failure. Loss is information. Every mistake, misstep, or wrong turn teaches you something valuable about boundaries, clarity, and direction. When you treat setbacks as tuition instead of punishment, fear loosens its grip. And finally, let's talk about time. Money can grow. Time does not. Many people spend their lives trying to save money while unknowingly wasting their most valuable resource. Wealthy thinking prioritizes leverage. It asks, what deserves my attention, and what can be delegated, simplified, or released? This isn't about status. It's about respect for your energy. When you protect your time, you protect your nervous system. And when your nervous system feels safe, your creativity and intelligence come back online. So here's my invitation to you. You don't need to change everything at once. Choose one belief. One pattern. One small shift. Practice it gently this week. And notice how differently you speak to yourself. Because money, at its core, is not just a number. It's a mirror. It reflects how safe you feel receiving, how worthy you believe you are, and how much trust you have in yourself. And that relationship can be healed. On this channel, I share science-based ideas that help you understand your inner value, build a successful life, and create strong, loving relationships you truly deserve. Subscribe to the channel and join our community. And please like this video, it truly helps me create more content. Thank you so much for listening.